Good day everyone, and welcome back to Quest for Alpha. Similarly to last week, what I'd like to do today is go over some of the setups that we looked at last week, just so we can see what the price action is telling us for this week and for the weeks to come. Let's start with the first one on the list that we had, which was OMC. If we start on the monthly time chart, we can see that it's still in an uptrend. We have the 10 above the 100, 100 above the 200 EMAs. We're still within this demand zone. And then if we go on the daily time chart, what we can do is we can take a look at what has been happening here. Last time talked about few confirmations. The first one that happened over here, there was a consolidation, but the price never really went above it. So this was really negated. And then there was another consolidation that occurred here with a strong bullish move above the 200 EMA. This was our confirmation on the daily chart that should indicate that we can be interested in investing in OMC. That's supported by the fact that it took the previous peak. What had happened was it did go up, it came into this area over here. Last week we were right over here on this specific candle. Since then the market actually dropped below and it consolidated in this region. I have for myself added another alert level over here. If the price decides to come below it and probably close, I'm absolutely going to close this position. But the reason sometimes that the price does want to go below lower low or higher low in this case is because they want to take some of the liquidity that's maybe hidden below it. So if I had decided to put a stop loss here, fixed stop loss, then I would have been taken out. Again, you have to think about the fact that you are looking on the stock market, which tends to move upwards, which is a very, very strong edge. And ultimately these stocks are going to go higher. They are going to trend higher. The challenge is to determine whether you want to stick around long enough or if you want to find other opportunities where you want to allocate your money. In my case, there is no other opportunities right now that I have identified where I would place my money. So in that case, this is where I am. I will be following up next week, and we shall see how this stock is going to perform. With that, let's go to the Equinox. If we look at on the monthly chart, this is still in an uptrend. We're still above the previous demand zone. One thing to point out here is that I would invalidate the demand zone if the price action closes below it. In this case, yes, this specific candle penetrated at the demand zone, but it bounced off for that month, so it's only with the wick as opposed to a full candle closing. If we look at on the daily time chart, we are still within this zone. The price actually dropped a little bit deeper into the zone, but it is still valid. The stock market hasn't been performing very well last week, and some of these stocks that are on this watch list have been affected by it as well. Those are really the main ones that I have been involved with. The later ones were some that I was considering getting in as long as there was a confirmation. We can see, at least with Dover Corporation, that the price never departed outside this consolidation, so there is really no play at this point. It is really just working out its consolidation. Okay, the next one on the list is Waters Corporation. If we look on the monthly time chart, we're still in an uptrend. The demand zone is still valid. If we go back to the daily time chart, we can see that the price actually took off. Right now it's probably around 8 or 9%. Okay, it closed for the week around 7% above the entry point that I had defined here. One could have entered at this point over here where the candle had departed this consolidation zone, but this was October 20th where I wasn't really participating, and there was another opportunity here this week to enter the market. I personally did not allocate my money here, but this would have been absolutely a great play because the price actually did come back to the point where one would have entered on October 20th following this setup and this strategy. So this was a good play. Avery Dennison, nothing much here. It was just consolidating. As we discussed last week, this didn't have any sort of consolidation before having the price move above the 200 moving average. Therefore, I wouldn't have been interested. The only time I would be interested now, consider this, if there is a consolidation here, something longer, and then the price which is way above this peak, but that may take some time, so this is not really an interesting setup for me. Salesforce was another one that was actually setting up here, and had it decided to move above this consolidation as opposed to dropping, this would have been a great play for the week. Because this occurred, then I will no longer really look at Salesforce. It may take some time before it comes back here, consolidate, and then breaks above the 200 EMA. Right now, and probably for the next week or two, I don't think there's going to be any play on Salesforce. HP, similarly, price just dropped below the consolidation zone. I would have been very much interested if the price had decided to go above here where I had the alert level. That did not occur. Actually, the price dropped. It is still within the monthly demand zone. The price hasn't really closed below it, so this could be something that can happen maybe in the future. Merck and Company, that is in a demand zone. What I would do here, there is still some sort of consolidation, so I would probably just extend this a little bit this way. So it's a much bigger consolidation right now. Therefore, it's not the cleanest price action, to be honest. Ideally, it would have been this right here with a price coming right above this previous peak, kind of like what we've seen in previous examples. But because this did not occur, and the price is just ranging here, we just have to monitor it for the next few weeks. And the last one on the list was Vertex. Vertex, as you can see, similarly to some of the other ones, even like Salesforce, it was a really nice consolidation. We're hoping that the price can go above it over here. Instead, it decided to break down below this consolidation. Now, this is still a decent consolidation. It didn't really vary much, but if there is another candle below it, then I'll probably ignore this one for some time. If next week instead we see something like this, then I would definitely be interested in participating in a move like this for at least a 2-1. Okay, with that, today's short video. The markets did not give us way too many opportunities. We are still in the positions for OMC and Equinox, and for the Waters Corporation, for those that actually participated in the market, there's an opportunity for this price to go a lot higher. This to me is automatically a win. Someone can pull profits right now, or they can at least set their stop loss to break even and just ride the wave. There's probably an opportunity for this one to go above the all-time high, or at least the previous high, which would be a 22% gain, which is pretty significant actually. So we will see how this stock performs in the next week. Okay, well, before I let you go, if this content is of any interest to you, and if you want the algorithm to take you back to content such as this one, please consider liking the video. Thank you and have a great day. Bye.